Hello everyone and welcome to episode 34 of the Dragon Radar podcast. We are your hosts, Heeroh and Ajoten. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well, back once again for a Dragon Ball discussion. How's it about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to go, so let's get started with Roshi's rant.
Let's go.
This is Roshi's Rant.
So this is Roshi's rant, the first segment of the podcast where we deep dive into a particular topic regarding Dragon Ball. And this week we're talking about the Red Ribbon Army because they were pretty prominent throughout the superhero film, believe it or not. If you missed it, I don't know how. But yeah, the Red Ribbon Army were around, and now it seems like they might be gone again, maybe forever. So that's what we're going to discuss. Do you think the Red Ribbon Army is gone for good?
I think it's past time.
Yeah, I also kind of think that they should be done now.
I think they do like to revisit old enemies, but I think it is past time.
Yeah.
They've done the android thing. They did hint at another android with the Vomi reference, an Android 21, but I think it was more maybe a fan service thing more than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
I don't think it was actually anything. I mean, it would be cool to see Android 21, but I think really if we were going to see her, I think we probably would have seen her by now. She's not really been in the manga. There's not really any way that she could have been in it by now. Jiro's gone.
She was a game character originally. She was designed for, I can't remember which game it was, but she was a game character first, and then people liked her enough.
I think it was Fighter Z.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Fighter Z or something like that. But yeah, I don't think there's any way to slot her into the show properly.
Nah.
I think it's past. I think she would have been a Dragon Ball Z character because her story in the game that she was with synced up with 16 because that's part of the family.
Yeah.
And 16's gone. So yeah, Jiro's not there to introduce her. All the family's gone. It just wouldn't really sync up in any way. And that's really the only red ribbon link that would be there. I think it would just be awkward.
Well, that's the thing. In the superhero film, when it shows the family tree very briefly, we know that Dr. Hedo's parents are people. He does have parents. But there was question marks next to both of them. They don't have images. They don't have pictures. Is that a hint that maybe at some point we will find out who the question marks are? Because one of them is another kid of Dr. Gero and Android 20. Well, what's her name? Femi?
Yeah, Vomi.
Yeah,
I think it was.
So,
well, they didn't say her name. I don't think.
Yeah, but it said it had it written down. I think Vemi. I can't remember.
Vomi.
Vomi. Yeah. So one of the branches was going down to Android 16. One of them was going down to a question mark, and then there was other question mark, which are Dr. Hedo's parents, and then there's him. So there is unexplored links. I don't know why they had to. Well, I do understand why they actually had to put up more links, because if they said they were if he was the kid of Android 16, people would be like, what? That makes no sense. So yeah, give Jiro another kid, I guess, whatever. But we don't know who they are, and that's the final question mark. Quite literally, it is a question mark right now of who are these people? Are they alive? Are they not alive? Are they dead? Because Dr. Hedo is 24. I think he's 24 in the film. That's what they say. So there's a high chance his parents could still be alive. Why not? We just don't know who they are.
I think it would be a bit tiresome for them to say, "Oh, and there's more geniuses in the family," and it's why would they? So they went to one genius had made some more androids, so it's so they went to even more geniuses in the family who made even more androids, and it's okay, right now you're recycling a lot of content here.
Yeah.
And I think they know people would just not be down with that. And it's why would you use your old family members to make an android of your grandmother,
Mm,
and it's like it would just be weird, or your mother. It would be like really odd,
yeah.
and it's just like, yeah, I just think it would just be a weird way to introduce her as a character, just for the sake of essentially fan service,
Yeah.
because she was popular in a computer game.
Mm,
I think literally showing her face was just to make everyone go, "Look, cool, yeah, I know her," and that was it.
yeah.
Um,
Because
she
I
is
never.
canon now, technically, but that doesn't mean 21's canon. It by any means. It just means that she is as her human counterpart is,
Yeah.
and that's it. 21 isn't.
Yeah, because
Um,
I never actually played the fighter. Well, I did have the fighters game, but I never really got through the storyline, so I don't know the link properly, and I don't understand the evil 21. Like, why she pretty much looked like a female version of Boo at some point. Like, I don't understand storyline wise why she's like that either. So if that was to be brought into the show, I would kind of want that explained a hell of a lot better than hopefully the game. Well, I don't know. It might be explained really well in the game, and I just don't know. But yeah, I don't think it makes too much sense to bring her in as a character. But
because they'd have to basically, like, 16 is prominent. Again, I'm the same, but 16 is very prominent in that as well.
Yeah.
So they'd have to reintroduce 16 as well, and 16 is very dead.
Yeah.
He is very, very dead.
Yeah, and
So
there's no
back
reason
16
to
would
wish
be
him
odd.
back or whatever with the Dragon Ball.
No.
So yeah.
Which would basically be it. And it's like saying, "Oh, we rebuilt another one" would be weak, because it's like that would just be odd. I don't like that. It's like, because it's like that was 16. The 16 who died in the Cell games, that was Android 16. Just building another one. It's like, no, you're just building a robot then. It's like, it's not the same person. It's like, it's just, no.
The only
So
thing I could think is if, for whatever reason, now that Dr. Heeroh is a good guy and working with Bulma, I could in some way see maybe Android 18 going up to him and saying, "Look, my, not brother, associate, friend, whatever you want to call him, he was an innocent guy who just loved nature, who died trying to fight Cell. Can you bring him back at all? Is there any chance?"
She really kept the microchip thing.
Yeah, potentially. He said when Cell stamped on his head, we actually did manage to retrieve a chip or whatever, which was never seen during Z, but they can easily just...
Well, you saw the microchip that fizzled out.
Yeah.
When he stamped, it like bounced and then fizzled out. It was like, anyway, you can reactivate this. I suppose, technically, that's like, I'm assuming that was supposed to be his brain that fizzled out. And he is a genius, so you could technically put an argument there, but it's like,
there is something there.
It's very weak.
Nah, I don't think they should though. But like, if we look
I think it takes away from, like, that's what triggered Gohan. So it takes away from it. It's the same argument from people dying to the Dragon Balls to then just coming back. It takes away the meaning behind it. It's just like, oh well, it was pointless him dying. So the whole activation of Super Saiyan 2 was just kind of pointless because you could just bring him back. It's like, it takes away the emotional resonance behind it.
Yeah. If we look at the Red Ribbon Army as a whole, though, like in OG Dragon Ball, there were a literal army. There was sergeants and colonels and all the rest of it, all the different colors: red, blue, black, yellow, magenta. I can't think of any others right now off the top of my head, but there was all the different colored army people who were all defeated by Goku. They were taking no prisoners, comrade, all that type of stuff. All of them are dead. But yeah, well, actually, there was people left over because Dr. Gero survived after Goku blew up the Red Ribbon base, and that's how he created Android 16, 17, and 18. But the army were a massive part of OG Dragon Ball. They took up maybe half of the episodes. Potentially, maybe not quite that many, but a good chunk, maybe at least a third of the episodes were focused around the Red Ribbon Army. And then in Z, they weren't an army anymore. They were Red Ribbon androids, and that was it. There was no army, really. There was just 4 of them, and that was it. No army, no tanks or soldiers or anything anymore, just androids. And that was fine. Actually, no, there was 5 of them, I guess, because Android 14. Yeah. Fat Android with Heeroh.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 of them. But yeah, they weren't really an army. But they got their place in the sunshine and the spotlight again, because, the Red Ribbon was like, oh, these guys from OG, they're back again. Or their organization, at least, they're back again. New characters, though. That's pretty cool that they're bringing it back. And now with, I guess, This Is Super, they've brought them back again and rebuilt the army, because it is a fully fledged army once again, but they're also a pharmaceutical company as well. So they have the army side, they have the pharmaceutical side. So
I mean, it's mainly a front, but it has to be functioning to act as a front successfully.
So the Red Ribbon Pharmaceuticals are a well-known brand in the Dragon Ball world at this point, which is surprising because, you never talk about it after Z with the androids, but it's like, oh, everyone knows Red Ribbon. There's those guys who do the pharmaceuticals. Yeah, of course. I was like, okay then.
It must be like a mini retcon to be that must have been what they were always doing in OG to make their money.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like that. That's what it must have always been, that they were funding themselves, and it's like, I think that's kind of what they must have been hinted at, because I'm assuming it was never really addressed really massively. No. It was just like they were the big bads.
Well, I mean, they were known as an actual army in OG, so it was like no one questioned it. It was just like, oh yeah, it's an army. Of course, they're an army. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can have an army. But now in Super version, at least it's like, oh no, they've got this front where they're getting money through the pharmaceuticals to pay for this army, and it's like, all right. Well, it's like
they went for Wakanda, didn't they? And they hid everything, so they didn't have to like. They hid in the shadows, really, literally. So
yeah, because they're big enough to be like a secondary brand. They're like the Sony to Microsoft with the capsule corp to Red Ribbon.
They're like capsule corp. Like literally, they're huge, basically.
Massive.
Yeah. So for them to just disappear is a big deal. So the army branch to just disappear is, I think, to be honest, I think they'll just not mention it again.
No, I don't think they'll mention it either. I think we've had enough now. We've had Red Ribbon in OG, Z, and now Super. It's like, do you need to keep bringing them back? Yeah. Especially from the superhero film. The guys in charge, what's his name, Magenta and Carmine, yes, those two are both now dead, R.I.P. And
did Carmine die? I don't think he died.
Did he not? Well, Pan punched him in the balls.
I think he just kicked him so hard that he just passed out.
Yeah, but then there was all the explosions, but you never do see him again. So
I don't think you directly see him die. I think it's just assumed that he got defeated.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's organized enough to be a leader.
No, definitely not. So it's like the two main guys of the organization are now gone, and Hedo's turned good. Gamma 1 is the only remaining army person, like, apart from the grunts, but the grunts aren't going to do anything. So it's like, do we really need to bring them back again at some point? No.
I think they'll just disperse. It'll be assumed they dispersed, just like the remaining of in OG, whatever was left will disperse. And I think they'll just not get referenced again.
It's weird to me. Because they feel like they're almost doing the same thing as Frieza at this point, except a lot less popular.
Yeah.
Like Frieza was around, and then he died, and then he came back, and then he died, and then he came back again, and now he's still alive. And in the manga, he's just came back a fourth time or whatever. It's like, oh, Red Ribbon were defeated, and then he came back, and then defeated again, and then came back out of nowhere, and now defeated again. Are we going to come back? Maybe. Who knows? It is Dragon Ball. And it's like, no one cares about Red Ribbon, the army, as much as like Frieza as a character, for example. But it's like, yeah, no one's expecting anything else from Red Ribbon. No one was expecting anything from Red Ribbon after the androids in Z. So it was completely random that they decided to bring them back, which is fine. But it's like, okay, we've done that twice now. Do we need it again?
The reason they did it is because they had to keep it localized to Earth for Gohan and Piccolo. They had to keep the threat localized because Gohan and Piccolo were unlikely to leave Earth very easily for not a good reason. Because if it was off planet, it would be Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah.
Goku and Vegeta would leave any off planet threats very simply. Whereas this is something where anything close to home, they would be the first point of contact. And also the threat couldn't be too excessive where these guys, like, it couldn't be too high a threat. These guys had to power up to reach the level of the main characters, Goku and Vegeta.
Do you not think this
is their catch-up? So the threat couldn't be too strong. And the Red Ribbons aren't stronger than, say, Jiren and everything like that. Like, so I think the Red Ribbon isn't too big a threat.
Do you not think
that's why it was so important that I think this is why I think they were very intentional with the choice of Red Ribbon. That's why.
Yeah, I think so too. But do you not think this could have been a good opportunity to expand the Dragon Ball world on Earth, at least, by introducing a new company? Because we've had Red Ribbon, and yes, it makes sense to bring them back because, oh, look at all this history, throwbacks, all this stuff. But it's like Magenta could have easily started his own company and, you know, had it be whatever, and then just be like, oh, you know, can you remember that Dr. Heeroh guy who was like the top scientist in the Red Ribbon Army? Well, his grandson has been released. Why don't we try and get him into our company to make some androids for us or whatever? But he could have had his own company. It didn't have to be Red Ribbon. They could have expanded a bit more, because right now we are aware of Capsule Corp and Red Ribbon being two big companies in Dragon Ball Earth, but we know nothing about anything else. So they could have introduced another company. For all we knew before this film, Red Ribbon wasn't even a thing anymore anyway. So it's like, why not? You could have had a new company.
Maybe, but it made sense in the law for him to say it's the reason that they pushed across Capsule Claw is because he's the grandson of... Was the grandson or the son? Magenta, I think, of...
Oh, Magenta was the son of...
Yeah.
Red.
Anyway, he had a reason for wanting revenge, yeah?
Okay.
So that's why he continued it. Whereas if he made this... So he just did it through the Red Ribbon. Whereas if he made another company, it would just be the whole Pride Troopers copying the Ginyu again. It's just like, yeah, you're just doing a carbon copy. So it's like, we know what you are. You're just the Red Ribbon with a different name. So it's like, it's not really an expansion of the law. You're just basically the Red Ribbon with a different name. So you might as well.
I would have been fine with that, though, to be honest.
Yeah, you might as well just be the Blue Ribbon. Like, you're exactly the same thing, just more. So really, it's not an expansion of the law. It's just a different name.
Yeah,
really.
That one thread of Magenta being the son or grand, I think it's son of Red. That was the one thing that's linking them. But they didn't need to do that link. They could have had all the other links with Heeroh and Ajoten. That's fine. But they could have had Magenta be named literally anything else and have his own company instead, and then everything else would have still worked the same. You know?
Why would they wanted to crush Capsule Core though?
Just Because why not? They can still think they're evil and still think of them as competition, and just want to take them down for their own. Like, I want to dominate Earth. I want to be the biggest brand on Earth or whatever, biggest company, make an army, all that stuff. Why not? There's always evil companies in shows and probably real life as well. But yeah, why not?
I mean, revenge is a good story at least. I think I would prefer revenge over I'm just the bad guy for the sake of being the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think you have to look at the reasons for being a bad guy. I think you would have to have a good reason.
Well, what if they, thinking ahead, they could have still had Magenta, but they could have changed the Carmine character to be the boss instead of his own company. Let's say Carmine is the boss, and Magenta is hired because they know that Magenta is the son of Commander Red, and they're like, "Oh, we know your dad was like a commander in the Red Ribbon Army, but do you want to work for us? You can start your own army for us." And then that's why he wants to get revenge and all this stuff and blah blah blah. Take it from there.
You could just have Carmine as a lot smarter and let Magenta have the typical revenge storyline, and let Carmine betray him very early on, and let Carmine like take over and be a lot smarter.
Yeah,
and let him have something like the domination like brand, and then at least you've got a developing storyline and something a bit more to it, which might have a bit more to it, and then the haha, it was me, I'm the bad guy, brah, which is a bit more static. So then you've got a developing storyline going on to the side, whilst you've got everything going on with Piccolo and everything and Gohan. So you've still got other stuff going on. That would be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just a carbon copy of the Red Ribbon. But I see what you mean, because I think the Red Ribbon have had their time. I think they're done.
Yeah, I don't want or need to see them come back again. I think if they were to bring back the anime and redo the superhero movie like they have with the other movies, when bringing them into the anime version, the ending when Heeroh and Gamma 1 become part of Capsule Corp, the last we'll see of Red Ribbon is when they decide to remove the Red Ribbon logo from Gamma 1's suit, because that will happen. He's not going to keep that on if he's working for Capsule Corp. Definitely not. So that'll be it. That'll be like the final trace, the final look back. I say, we can't have that anymore.
Yeah, I think maybe at the start of the anime they should maybe show you them dismantling the last of their base, because the base, well, no, there's nothing to dismantle. It blew up.
Yeah,
it got nuked, didn't it?
Yeah.
So there's nothing to. That's the thing. Like, there is no more Red Ribbon Army. It got, the entire base got nuked. So the army is already dispersed. It's gone. Like,
maybe Bulma just buys out the pharmaceutical company, turns it into Capsule Corp.
She pretty much could. There's no one to really stop her doing it. Like, you could show her just like a quick reference of her doing something like that, just buying out the last of what's left, or letting her make a quick reference just to say, this is me, this is what I did to the last of them, like, I got the last of their technology, something like that, or me and Heeroh got the last of it, we acquired what was left, what data was left, something like that. We made sure, we went back, we got the last of my Gamma research, something like that, which means we can make a second Gamma 2, something like that. Just a quick reference to click the fingers, wrap it up all nice and tidy.
Yeah.
So that it's actually acknowledged, because obviously that wasn't done in the film, obviously, because it's a film, you're not going to do filler like that.
Yeah.
But the show is coming back, and it's going to be a follow-on from that. Or if it's anything like what they did at the start of Super, it's going to be an expansion of Battle of the Gods, Resurrection F. So they're going to do that with Broly, and they're going to do that with Superhero. So they're going to have extended versions, and that'll be a perfect time to do it. So they should address that, and I imagine they will if they do.
Yeah,
because it's the perfect time to do it.
Mhm.
And I think that would be the perfect way to wrap up the Red Ribbon Army, because there's no reason for them to be back after that. They'll say, bought out the last of the stocks, there's nothing left of the Red Ribbon, so they've got no funding, they've got their armies dispersed, they're dead, like the leaders are dead.
Again.
Yeah, there's nobody.
We made sure to kill their extended families this time as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that would literally be it.
Yeah.
There's no more androids.
I don't want to see some random other scientist family member or a link to the army come back out of the shadows who's been gone for the past 20 years or anything like that. No more androids. I like the fact that there is androids, but we don't need any more from the Red Ribbon Army. That's fine.
And the thing is, we have androids who are alive. We now have 3 androids who are alive. Yes? Gamma, Android 1718, yeah?
Yeah, and half android Marin, I guess. I want that to be a storyline.
Yeah. So, and we have Heeroh who can make more.
Yeah.
And I think he will. I'm confident Gamma 2 is coming back. So
I am as well, to be honest. He's too
So-
popular.
yeah, so we're going to have 4 androids, so we don't need any more. So I think that's it. I think that's the end of them. And
Actually, there is a surviving android that we forgot about. Ada, Android 8 from OG Dragon Ball. He never died. He was just left in the snow after the Red Ribbon arc finished. Goku just said bye and then left to go see Korin in Korin's tower. But Android 8, who looks a bit like Frankenstein, is still
he's the
alive.
friendly guy though, who's super strong, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like isn't he supposed to be like the strongest android though?
I don't know if he is supposed to be super strong, yeah. But
but he doesn't want to fight.
yeah, he's strong for OG standards of strong. I don't think the power skill quite lives up to that. But he is.
Get him
he
in
is
the
still
tournament of power and we'll test him out. The next tournament of power, we'll test him out.
And bring
And
Android
we'll get
in.
him.
Yeah, but he is still
Absolutely
alive.
annihilates Jiren. That'll be amazing.
He was friends with Arale. Like Arale and 8 were kind of like a double act for a small while.
See, if he's mates with Arale, then there you go. He's absolutely good.
Does Arale count as an android? Which is a robot. Technically different. But yeah, I guess no more Red Ribbon. I think we're done with it now.
Let it be done.
Yeah.
We have gods and all that. Like, it's time to upscale.
Yeah.
We have Orange Piccolo. We have Beast Gohan. It's time to step up.
Exactly.
They've stepped up. This is why we had them. They needed them to allow Gohan and Piccolo to get their step up, to get their transformations. That was the only reason they came back. They've done that now. We don't need them anymore.
Yeah. No more androids.
Unless we're going to give Piccolo, Tien, and Yamcha a power up, we don't need them anymore. And nobody cares about Yamcha.
Exactly, unfortunately.
Except for you.
Yeah, but out with the androids, in with the dinosaurs. Let's bring back dinosaurs. Why not? Who knows? But anyway, that's going to be it for this segment. Let us know what you think. Do you think the Red Ribbon Army should come back again? And how? Let us know in the comments. But for now, let's move on to the Hall of Fame.
Cool.
And now it is time for the Hall of Fame.
And now it's time for this week's Hall of Fame, where myself and Heeroh battle it out once again to see who is worthy to enter this week's Hall of Fame. So, last week, it was the most unexpected moment in the superhero movie, where Heeroh, you had Bulma wishing for bigger buns.
Of course.
And myself for Gohan using the special beam cannon to defeat Max Cell. And do you have the results?
I do have the results, and the winner with the most unexpected moment, with 67% of the vote, is Gohan using the special beam cannon to defeat Cell. So you I mean, was only on a 1 streak anyway. I think I only won the last one. So you've instantly ended that run. But yeah, that means you get first pick. But what is the topic?
Yes, so sticking with superhero because it's got to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And this time we're going for the best filler moment in a superhero movie. And I am going to go with the most obvious one because I'm going for the win. And it's got to be the fight between Goku and Vegeta.
Man, does that? Can you? I want to complain. Can I complain? Who's in charge here?
That is definitely filler.
I mean, it is a filler moment. All right, I'll give you it.
Definitive filler. It contributes to the plot in no way, shape, or form. Yeah. Technically, those two do not need to be in this film in any way.
Man, I didn't even I didn't think about it because I was like, does it count? Because yes, it does count, but also when they redo this for the anime, that's not going to be filler anymore. That's going to be an extended storyline. So it's like,
I'm sorry, you have played scummy moments in this.
Yeah, I have.
So
I know. I'm aware. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can have it. That's fine. But also, it's like, all right then, fair enough. You can have your scummy moment back.
But I do have one. I did have a one where it's my own personal preference, but this is something you go for the win. So
yeah, fair enough.
But I do have one where it's actually my personal favorite.
Well, that might be mine.
Which I'll say afterwards, so I'm not going to do it yet. But yeah, the fight is great though.
It is.
I do enjoy the fight. Yeah. It's not the win part at the end, to be honest. It's just the fight. The fight's just great. It's Beerus just acknowledging that that Vegeta's actually changed his fighting style, things like that. And it's interesting seeing them fighting on Beerus' planet because you haven't actually really seen that yet.
Yeah.
So it's actually it's different to actually see them have a proper training sparring fight. You don't see that anymore. You haven't seen that I can't remember the last time.
I guess
I don't think just before seen that.
What, a fight on Beerus' planet?
Spar? No, like a proper spar between them. The last time I remember them fighting is the Boo Saga, and that was a genuine fight.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen them have a genuine sparring fight. I genuinely can't remember.
I don't think they've had have they had a spar fight?
I don't think we have. And it was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it to watch. And again, it's just pure filler for the sake of filler, and I really enjoyed it. And it was well done. It was a bit of good, clean fun for 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and that I just enjoyed. And yeah, I was just like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It looked good. I like the environment. And yeah, I thought it was great, to be honest. There's not a lot more to it because, again, it is filler. But yeah, and I think it was, I think it's just, it is nice in the end that Vegeta did get the win, but to be honest, that's not really a big deal for me when it comes to this fight.
No.
It could have went either way. I just enjoy the fact that we finally got to see a cool sparring match between the two of them, purely for the sake. Because at the end of Dragon Ball Super, you see them about to spar back where they originally fight. Like the final scene is them setting up in the pose.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that they originally fought in. Their iconic poses
from the
when they first fought,
yeah,
and they charge at each other, and that's the ending. Frame that you see at the end of Super, but you don't see anything. And this is finally where you actually get to see it. So I really enjoyed it. No. So that's my choice.
Well, I mean, I thought I was going for the win here. because I've got a solid moment, but your scummy pick is going to win. But
you can't call it scummy with what you did.
No,
what was yours? What was your really scummy one a little while ago?
I mean, mine was also the best side character moment. I had Vegeta picking up a win finally.
Yeah,
against
exactly.
Goku. Yeah, I mean, I'm not denying the fact that I've had some scummy picks, but this is also a scummy pick. So
you just don't like it when it happens to you.
I just wasn't expecting it. But my best filler moment, it's a short and sweet one, but it's just I didn't know how best to word this, so I'm just going to describe it. But it's the fact that Piccolo and Janet on first name basis. Pan's teacher. I love the fact that's a thing. That Piccolo and Janet, Pan's teacher, are just like, oh, hey Piccolo, well, Mr. Piccolo, and Piccolo's just like, oh, hey Janet. It's just, I like that. The fact that they know each other enough to talk to each other, like, everything about it. I've seen online that people are really loving Janet as a character, even though she was around for 2 minutes. But just the fact that Piccolo and her have some sort of friendly relationship going on there. And it's almost like a mini Easter egg at the start of the film when Heeroh, Carmine, and Magenta are in the car talking to each other. And there's the slow car in front. That's Janet in the car. Who,
I don't notice that. Is it?
Yeah, she's the one in the car who's driving really slowly in front of them, who Carmine overtakes and then spins her out. But yeah, that's Janet. And then we see her and it's like, oh, it's her from the car. It's Pan's teacher. And yeah, it's a pure filler moment, just the fact that them two are talking to each other and they know each other enough. But yeah, just the fact that they're on first name basis, I like that. It's funny. I don't even, is it even filler? I guess it's kind of filler. It's an off the cuff comment that is made, just the fact that Piccolo just goes, oh hey Janet, and it's like, huh? Alright, it's just unexpected, but I like it. Piccolo has friends.
It's kind of little fluff, and I think it's because that's kind of like what my second pick is really, which is something similar, which is just basically it's got to be Piccolo's teddy bear collection. The unnecessary teddy bear collection is just great, and just the fact that to appease Pan, he said he liked it once. He said he liked the teddy bear once, and they gave him one, and then from then on, any time they've just got him one every single time.
Even though Piccolo constantly tells them, I never wanted one in the first place.
Yeah.
Shouting at them.
And I just think that's great, and they just keep getting them for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing is, it's like, even you don't even know if it does it even count as filler, but it's all these, I think it's more Easter eggs than filler, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
It's also just the fact that Piccolo has this collection in his house. And they're just all just sitting in the corner of his house, and it's like he could easily just like destroy them, quick eye beam or whatever, they're gone forever. But it's the fact that he hasn't. He's keeping them in his house, even though he doesn't want them or like them. They're just all there, and it's like you can get rid of them.
Yeah,
but he's not.
Because it's really when he goes to see Gohan, because it's that scene when he goes to see Gohan to tell him off for not picking up Pan. It's like, you could argue it's not filler because he's basically saying you're not training. Well, it's like, it doesn't need to be there, really, does it? It is kind of a filler scene when they're like, oh, we'll get you another teddy. Well, it's like, it's not the most important scene, is it, really? No. And it's like, because he does like the clothes beam and everything like that, and it's just like, it's really it's basically mostly an Easter egg scene.
Yeah.
He's the clothes beam. He shows him the picture of the golden ant, and it's kind of like feels like a reference to upcoming Orange Piccolo, and it's like, it just feels like basically an entire scene is Easter eggs and references.
Yeah, because they've also got the picture on Gohan's desk of Gohan as a kid in Goku's arms, which I thought was cool as well.
The little hat and the Dragon Ball in it. It's basically an entire throwback scene, and I just love it. I know, and I think if I hadn't been scummy, which I'm happy to say I am, I'm not apologising.
Go for the win. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That would have definitely probably been my pick when he goes to see Gohan and basically tells him off and goes to get his teddy bear.
See, I really had it in my head like, yes, Janet. Everyone loves Janet. This is going to be a winner, but no, it's not. I can see, I know, right? I already know. But I guess, that's it for the Hall of Fame. So if you want to vote, we have our socials just below my name here on the video. Go check them out. Go vote in the polls for who you want to win and who you want to see enter the Hall of Fame. And we'll find out next episode. Is it going to be Piccolo and Janet's interactions or the fight between Vegeta and Goku? Those are the two options this week.
Imagine Janet beats Vegeta and Goku.
I hope she does. Prove your dominance, Janet.
So do I.
Let's see that Janet love. But that's going to be it for this week's Hall of Fame. So let's move on now to the hot take.
Let's go.
Hot take.
So this is the hot take, the final segment of the podcast where usually I go online, find a hot take regarding Dragon Ball. We discuss, we say if we agreed, disagreed, and talk about it, and then let the comments run wild of why we're wrong. But this week I haven't done that. Ajoten, you've done that. You found a take online about the newest superhero film, I believe. So what are we making people angry about this week?
Yes. So I've had a hunt online, and it's technically a hot take. So I had a hunt about, and I've actually found an article / review about superhero. It's quite short, and so I've summed it up a little bit. And it's someone who is quite disappointed, I'll say, in the new film. Literally, the article is entitled "Superheroes Disappointing." Basically, it's super disappointing.
Wow! How many supers can you fit in a title?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball superhero is super disappointing. Oh.
Yeah. So basically, summed up. So basically, it's so Dragon Ball's so this is basically the start of the article. So Dragon Ball is at an interesting crossroads at the moment. While the Dragon Ball Super manga by Akira Toriyama and Toyotaro is ongoing, its anime adaptation concluded a few years ago, and despite an ongoing web series titled Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the anime franchise seems to be in limbo. And despite being one of the most successful manga and anime series of all time, looking at recent media, such as the new movie, there is the worry that the Dragon Ball is struggling to stay relevant.
That's it? That's a full take?
Yeah.
It's struggling to stay relevant.
Yeah. So basically implying that things such as the new movie, because they've stepped back into realms such as the Red Ribbon, they have no new ideas or anything like that, and so they have no way to move on.
Well. I mean, one thing that proves this all wrong is that Dragon Ball Super is now the best grossing anime film of all time in America. And it's over 70 million grossing now, I think, since its release. It's the best performing Dragon Ball film of all time. It's the best performing anime film of all time, I believe. So, struggling to stay relevant? Are you sure about that? John Cena meme through the green screen? Are you sure about that?
Well,
I'm not sure.
I think the first thing I'd like to point out is this article was posted on the 18th of August.
So even then, that was
I
less
find
than 2
that
weeks ago.
very odd that it says that it's in limbo, the anime, yet it's been announced that Super's coming back.
Yeah. Wait,
the
so
anime is not in limbo.
this was posted on the release day of the film, the English release. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was before all the records and stuff were broken.
So I find it odd to say that the anime is in limbo when this article was released after it was announced that the anime
show's
had
coming
been
back.
said that they're going to do more Super stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that not a lot of that for someone who's writing articles, they haven't done their research.
Yeah. What can I say about this? what can I say? I mean, I just completely disagree. It's just a weird take because the guy hasn't done his research. He or she, I guess, doesn't know that the definitely he. Okay, then. Well, he hasn't done his research to find out that the show has already been announced to return because that was announced before the 18th, and yeah, since it's been released, he's been proven wrong anyway by all of the records that it's broken in the cinema and stuff. And is his point just the fact that we haven't had any further adaptations of the anime for like since when? 2018? 2017 maybe?
4 years, yeah.
Yeah. Is that his point? Just the fact that we've had the Broly film and now Superhero, but apart from that, we've had no canon anime for 4 years? Is that what he's trying to say? So that's why it's in limbo?
Yeah, I mean, which is strange because it's like, but we've had Super Dragon Ball Heroes, so I know it's not canon, but we've had ongoing. So saying relevant, I mean, it's very popular, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. I mean, you're saying it's relevancy and everything like that, but there is a story. Like, it's not a canon story, but there is engaging story there. I mean, we've reacted to it and everything like that. It's interesting and everything. It's engaging.
Also,
it's not repetition. It's not just random. Well, it is random, but you know what I mean. It's like it is new content.
Also, on that relevant note, it's just been introduced into Fortnite. And this was before the 18th as well, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it's been out for more than 2 weeks at this point.
8th, actually, I think it was.
Yeah, so Dragon Ball has just partnered with Fortnite, and that's been like one of the biggest Fortnite releases of all time, I think, as far as like a DLC pack goes. And also, which, I mean, this has only been announced yesterday, I think, as of recording, or maybe the day before. Dragon Ball is partnering with PUBG as well. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
yes, 16th of August. I've just checked. 16th of August is when Fortnite and
Dragon Ball. Yeah, and now they're doing a collab with PUBG as well. So Dragon Ball is extremely relevant right now. I mean, yes, to be fair, the Dragon Ball superhero film was maybe one of the worst promoted films that they've done. Beerus was huge because, the Battle of Gods was huge just because it was the first Dragon Ball release in years since the end of Z. There was a lot of promotion going into that. And then Resurrection F was pretty huge because it was the return of Frieza and there was a lot of promotion for that. Even Broly was pretty big because this was after the end of the actual anime and it was the first release since then, so they hyped that up as well. Superhero, there wasn't really much for it.
It didn't get as much love, no.
No, but Dragon Ball has proven that they don't even need to advertise, and it's breaking all these records, and it's a film that doesn't even feature Goku and Vegeta. Are you kidding me? And it's the one that breaks all the records.
It still smashed it. It didn't seem to. It seemed to like blast off a lot in the West as well, surprisingly, which is the big thing. Which is massive. And I'm very surprised with. It seems to be very underestimated in this take, like massively underestimated. I mean, and it seems to be that they're very much focusing on, in this take, very much focusing on the fact that in this film, they've decided to step back to the red ribbon. And I know early in this podcast, we did say that they stepped back to use the red ribbon. But we said that they had to do that for the sake of Gohan and Piccolo, because they needed a lesser threat, so to speak. But to be quite frank, they, at the time, were lesser warriors, so they had to.
Yeah.
They're not now, but they were. Now, if you look at the manga and what the anime can use, now that we know it's coming back, you have Gas and Moro and everybody that they can use, and all these really powerful, like, you have new enemies that the anime can use from the manga. You have upcoming enemies if they choose to take that route. We don't know if the anime is going to follow the manga. Probably, I would assume it will. I don't know if it will or won't, but we don't know that yet. But if it does choose to, you have these new enemies that people who haven't read the manga, that the anime viewers know nothing about. So the fact of relevancy doesn't really make sense. Like, it's not rehash at all. And if they don't choose to follow the manga, they're brand new for everybody. So technically everybody's in. The manga readers may not be happy about that. Some actually might be, because a lot of manga viewers may have accepted the fact that there's going to be this whole separate timeline. So some may be happy, some may not be happy. Because there isn't going to be a continuity. There's going to be separate. Someone's going to not be happy, basically. But there's going to be new stuff, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think this... it was almost 2 weeks ago now, but I feel like Dragon Ball's at like one of its all-time high popularities right now. Like, maybe not so much as the Z release, like episode by episode, like at the time, popularity-wise, but apart from that, well, even Super as well. Super was trending almost every week when each episode was released. But, you know, it's peaked again right now. It is so popular. Even all the memes that you've seen online with the Kamehameha wave and all that stuff from Fortnite noobs who don't know Dragon Ball. But just because of Fortnite alone, so many new people have been introduced to Dragon Ball, because people are like, oh, these are the guys from Fortnite, which, it's a bad way to look at it. But there will be new kids and, you know, other people who somehow have avoided Dragon Ball for all these years or whatever, and are now introduced to it.
When people see Master Chief and they're like, oh, it's the guy from Fortnite. It's not, it's the guy from Heeroh.
Yeah, but there's going to be a new wave of Dragon Ball fans who have been introduced through Fortnite, and a new wave of fans who have started Dragon Ball by watching Super, which is new. You know, all of these fans who started Dragon Ball with Z, which is kind of the expected route in, almost. But there's going to be this new wave who just started Super, and then just like, oh, Dragon Ball Super, like, we'll just start from episode 1 and see how it goes. And that's going to be weird. Imagine, like, a new Dragon Ball fan who starts with Super.
It's like, if you're a Z kid, you're a Super kid, you're an OG kid. I was a Z kid. Like, I didn't start with OG, and it's like, everyone's got to start somewhere. Like, so...
Yeah, I mean, I started with Z as well, but I went back and watched OG, and I'm glad I did. But Z was my introduction to Dragon Ball. But I couldn't imagine beginning with Super. I feel like you've missed so much. Like, it's almost... It's half excusable for not watching OG, because, you know, Z completely changes the story. It goes from just being a karate show, pretty much, to being a space alien beam show fighting anime. But they completely switch the script at the start of Z, so it's forgivable to start from there. But starting at Super, they're continuing the story, and it's like, but you don't know anything. How can you start from here? How can you start with Battle of the Gods?
It's like you're stepping into series 5 of a TV show or something like that.
Yeah, like, oh, that's weird. And especially since the first few episodes of Super are badly animated as well. Imagine trying to explain that this is the show that everyone's talking about, this, with all this bad animation at the start. It's like, well, you know, There's like 500 episodes that you've missed before you start, but okay. But
the thing, it's like I remember Firefly, a TV show a long time ago. It's like it's got a cult following now, but when it was originally aired, it was they accidentally showed episode 2 first, and so everybody,
How does that happen?
yeah, so everybody who watched it had no idea what was going on, because obviously episode 1 introduces the characters and everything like that. So everybody who's watching was like, "What's going on? What is this show?" And so obviously the ratings for the next episode were just shocking, and so it got cancelled after a first season. And now it's got a cult following now, but obviously the show's been cancelled.
Yeah, do you think that is what ruined the show and that's what got it cancelled, just because they released the episodes in the wrong order? Of course it's going to do bad. No one knows what's going on and think, what is this mess? I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, so it could be the same principle for Super. Like, you could lose a lot of people because they watch Super first.
Potentially.
They don't know the characters, because essentially you're watching a show from the middle.
Yeah.
So it's a shame, but there's nowhere you can really access D. It's like you can see things like Super on Crunchyroll and stuff like that, and it's not like you can go onto Netflix and see D unless you got a VPN, because I think you can see it on other Netflix. I think some other Netflix. I think
the films, but not the show. I don't think.
I think they talked about it on somewhere.
I think the newest films are on, but not the show.
Yeah, I don't know where you could see the. I think you would just have to find a site online somewhere.
Which there is sites. Not endorsing being a pirate, but there is sites, and you could do that.
But we would never endorse such a thing. No.
I never do that ever. I promise.
No, never.
To be fair, I did own all the DVDs at one point. I did sell them, but I did own
Where
all of
did you get the money for that?
Yes, I know. I spent a lot.
HMV, it's like, I remember seeing them HMV for like 5 episodes. It was like a tenner.
No, it was like I had all of the OG, all of Z, and all of GT on DVD, and they were like £15 per season. I had them all. But I did sell them because I wanted to make some money back. But yeah, I did have them, so I'm not a pirate.
Anime is so expensive to buy in DVDs. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, getting back on topic anyway about the relevancy and stuff. Like it's at an all-time high.
Trying to buy the DVD.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't get this take at all. Just because they've revisited an old enemy. I don't understand it. Like, literally, Superhero has done so much. Like, other mediums have ate this up. Fortnite is one of the biggest things ever. The age range that Fortnite reaches, like, a lot of people say, "Oh, Fortnite is for kids," and yes, a lot of kids do play Fortnite. However, whether people admit it or not, older people do play Fortnite.
Yeah,
and so lots of people would have played this and consumed the Dragon Ball content. So it's one of the biggest mediums that would have touched it, and millions of people would have got it through Fortnite alone.
Yeah, it's
if Fortnite touches if your content touches Fortnite, it's a moneymaker. So you win just with that alone.
It's almost a shame that yes, the anime is coming back, but it's not going to be for a little while yet. Maybe I think they've already said next year, but that'll be for the Japanese release. We probably won't see an English version for like a year or two after that, because that's what happened with Super as well. We had to wait ages. I think they were like 70 plus episodes into releasing Super when episode 1 of the English dub came out. And it'll be the same again, which is a massive shame, because we have proven that Dragon Ball is massive in the West, and we've broke cinema records and everything for anime, and I really hope they do a global release of the next anime.
They have to.
But they probably won't.
We've proven ourselves. We have proven ourselves.
Yeah, but they probably won't, though, which is just a shame. But I can't see it happening. But if they did, the Dragon Ball hype train is going to continue because it's coming out soonish anyway. Not like right now, but it's coming out soonish. And yeah, the hype for Dragon Ball will be at an all-time high.
But I mean, it just goes to show that the anime franchise is not in limbo.
No,
it
definitely
is. It is actively moving right now.
Yeah.
It is in creation.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't get the take. I fully disagree with this take.
Yeah, I also disagree with this take.
I think literally this take to me is just someone this person is a reviewer who saw the film, was very disappointed in it,
for some reason
looked for ways to basically just crap all over it, and missed, just swung and missed.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well.
And it's like, if you don't like it, fair enough, because the rest of the article talks about things like the CGI and stuff like that, and how they didn't like it and everything like that. I wasn't a fan of the CGI because they talk about Broly and how like they use this. They talk about how like the art was better in Broly and everything like that. I preferred Broly as well. Yes, I did. However, I got over it. And yeah, I did. I've told you multiple times that I much prefer the Broly art style. You know I did. I mentioned on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I got over it. I thoroughly enjoyed Superhero. It was if I had to say there was one thing I would change about Superhero, it would be to change it back. However, if I think back to the film, it's not something I particularly remember unless I think of Whis' face. Anytime I remember Whis' face, I can't not think of it.
Yeah. And I don't mind the 3D models at all, and it's going to be easier to animate with the models compared to drawn frame by frame shots.
Yeah.
So
it just means that we might get things quicker.
Yeah.
If they decide to do the new Dragon Ball series in that art style, it means we'll get it quicker.
Yeah, and I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah, because they'll just reuse the models, and it'll be much quicker. So it's something I can live with if it means we get content quicker, because it won't be bad. But like things like, if I think back to how like Gamma looked, I think things like Gamma look great. The Gammas look great.
That's the same reason why you don't like Whis though. It's because Whis you're used to seeing in a certain style. Gamma, this is the only style you've seen him in, so you're thinking, oh, he actually looks good.
No, just Whis had a really square, odd face.
I don't know. I didn't notice or see it, to be honest.
Like,
myself.
no, like Piccolo looks fine, Gohan looks fine. And Gohan looks sick when he was at fighting at the end, like, other than his weird hair.
I like his new base form hair, just the black hair all over. I like that.
I think, but anyway, this isn't a CGI discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, that's the thing. Like, this is the person. I think they didn't like the CGI, things like that. They weren't happy with the film. They wanted to be justified in what they were saying, and they just looked for this big issue to find. And I just think they've done a swing and a miss. And no, disagree massively.
And I disagree as well. And I think that's a good place to wrap up the podcast. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Oh, what was that?
And I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be it for this podcast episode. Hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, please like it up, subscribe down below if you haven't already. Leave some comments for what you think about everything we've discussed. And go vote in the polls for the Hall of Fame, and we'll find out next week who enters. But yeah, that's going to be it. So we will see you all next time.
So yeah.